what you want, when you want it, where you want it. This is The Mesh.
Attention, baby.
I gotta tell you a little something about yourself.
Self.
You're one of our flawless. Ooh, you a sexy lady.
Sexy lady.
But you walk around here like you wanna be someone else.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to episode 15, volume 1 of Big Fan, the #1 podcast in all of downtown Hickory, North Carolina. I'm Chad Easton. I'm a big fan of college basketball tournaments to kick off the season. Turning off the air conditioning and opening the windows on a cool autumn evening. And lastly, daylight savings times when you stay up late on Saturday evening but get that 1 extra hour of sleep so you hit the snooze button 12 times. Guess what?
My name is Eimer, and I'm a big fan of college basketball, week-old Halloween candy, and my dad's coaching skills.
Yeah, he is. Yeah, he is.
Yes, sir. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. Our first special guest host of the year, Mr. Eimer.
Yay!
So, Mr. Harris, if I can ask you one quick question. What brings you here today, sir?
Just wanted to hang out with my buddies.
Yeah.
What an answer. What an answer.
That's it.
It's a fine young gentleman here. Hank, how you doing today, sir?
I'm doing well. I had the opportunity to pick up Harris from school, and I decided what better way to spend the afternoon than to bring him in here and give him a little taste of the Big Fan.
Of course.
Right?
What do you think so far, Harris?
I'm liking it.
Pretty exciting stuff, huh?
Yeah,
Good.
it's good. So he's gonna have a couple features if he wants.
If he wants.
We'll see what happens.
Yes.
But we've got a lot to talk about today.
Yes, we do, Hank. Yes, we do. Let's start it off with Halloween festivities.
Oh,
so,
that's great.
Actually, we're a week away. Halloween took place last Wednesday. We come to you live today on a Wednesday, right? So
Right.
Today's date is October the 7th at 3:15 p.m. Hank, tell me a little bit about your evening. Full of ghouls and goblins.
It was scary. So I'll tell you, my Halloween is a lot like every year. Okay, we don't go down to 6th Street. We stay in our hood.
Yes.
Okay, and our hood's pretty great. And the reason why it's great is you can walk for about an hour and a half, maybe an hour and 45, and you're going to get a bag full of candy. I'm not talking about. See, the problem with 6th Street is you get 8-9 houses and you get just a couple pieces because they got to distribute it around 1 million kids.
That's right.
Our place. Handfuls of candy. Yo, man, it's handfuls of candy. And so if you ever get the chance, you might want to divert to our neighborhood because it turns out pretty good. So we start out eating pizza at my house. My mom and dad and my in-laws come over. They hand out candy while we go out and we walk the streets. We check out costumes. We get all the candy we want. But we go on the busy streets when it's kind of light, and then we get back in the hood when it gets dark. So then we get that.
Good strategy.
How about you?
Well, we stay on 6th Street. We live a couple blocks from 6th Street, so we start normally about 5:30. And the other thing, I like 6th Street because it's chaos. I mean, there's kids everywhere. The final tabulation of some of the homes, they gave out 3,000 pieces of candy. 3,000.
Harris, do we have that much candy at our house right now?
No.
So but the downfall, as you're describing, so to get from house to house at 6th Street, you might have to wait in line for about 10 to 15 minutes. Your influx of candy is not as off. You don't get as much because you're waiting in line.
Right.
And there's smaller pieces too.
Oh.
You might be getting the big daddies at y'all's trick-or-treating. Am I right?
Yeah.
Are you getting the full candy
Yeah,
bars?
there's this house on the corner, and I was getting like foot-long candy bars. It was crazy.
Oh
yeah.
My
Nerd
goodness.
ropes.
Whoa.
Yep.
Yeah, you're lucky if you might get an extra medium-sized Twizzler on 6th Street. Most of them are the little candy bars.
That's
You know what I'm
bad.
talking about. But this is kind of exciting. So before we started our adventures, about 5:35 Halloween evening, we stopped at our neighbor's house. The sun was still up. It's not dark yet. And I was helping them give out candy before we started. And this guy walks up the path to the house, and he's staring at me like he knew me. And I was like, hey, man, happy Halloween. And his little boy says trick or treat, and I give him a little nerd or whatever.
One piece of
One
candy.
piece of nerd. One of those little peppermints that you got in your grandma's old stash. Here, kid, gone. And so he keeps looking at me and he's like, thank you. And then he walks away. And so I was like, that was odd. Guy kept staring at me like, maybe I know him. 25 seconds later, he walks back up this long path looking at me, but he's looking at me, but smiling. And he says, I'm a big fan of your podcast. And I was like, what? He was like, man, I wanted to introduce myself to you. My name is blah, 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 blah. And for the last several years, I've listened to your podcast religiously. I feel like I know you and Hank like you're my brothers. Out of the blue. Is that pretty amazing?
That's pretty amazing.
That's wild, huh?
That's pretty amazing.
Yeah, so anyway, he just complimented us on what we do, and he said, keep up the good work. So,
I appreciate that.
Big fans everywhere, bro.
Big fans.
Yes.
Big fans.
Absolutely. So, Harris, before we get off the Halloween stuff, what was your favorite costume that you saw out and about? And let's end it with your favorite candy.
I was probably like my friend's blow-up gorilla.
It was good.
It was good.
Tell me about this blow-up gorilla.
So he and his brother had both blow-up costumes, and
Yes.
he started dancing, and it just looked like a big blob jumping around.
Oh, I can imagine.
Harris was making him do the hype, and that's the one where they put their arm
yes.
down low and they kick their foot up, and
Yes.
it looked like he was having a seizure. It did not look good. It did not look good,
That's
but it
hilarious.
was a great costume. But problem with those inflatables, get a little warm after a bit.
Oh,
yeah,
I can
Hudson
imagine.
had to take it off like every 12 seconds, but Keaton's
Really?
costume was like
How do you
6
breathe
feet.
in those things?
Who
I've always
knows?
been curious. Like,
I think there's mesh.
Yeah, there's like mesh right here.
Yeah,
Okay,
I think
gotcha.
there's a mesh. So, second part of that question: what's your favorite candy that you got?
I'm really liking the Sour Patch Kids.
okay, Sour Patch Kid fan,
I'm
huh?
a big fan of that too. Anything that is that one molecule different from plastic, I'm a fan. Whether it's Twizzlers or Starburst or whatever it is, closer to plastic, the better for me.
So, Daddy, do you go into Harris's stash and grab a couple here and there, or is the stash off limits? Because at my house, the stash is off limits.
No.
I'm not allowed to eat
You
any.
let me have candy, won't you?
Yeah, I'll let him.
The bad stuff. You don't give me the good stuff, do
But
you?
every once in a while, I see him sneaking stuff when he doesn't get my permission.
Yes.
He's not feeling it.
Yes.
He's not
Nope.
feeling it.
I hear you. Yeah, we'll take care of that candy, Harris. Good job there. When I was out and about, I saw some real freaky costumes, Hank and Harris, like funky looking stuff. Lots of zombies, couple werewolves,
Yeah.
weird
Yep.
stuff. Oh, and on 6th Street, they also put on a play. I don't know if you've heard about this, but there's one house that actually...
flash mob.
Yes, it's
Yeah.
like a flash mob, but it really turns into like a play. So people will gather around this house every 30 minutes. They redo the play.
Wow.
And so anyway, saw some real funky
crazy.
stuff. Very crazy. But the craziest thing I saw was this real freaky looking alien. It looked like it had landed from Venus or something. It really looked like what I think an alien might look like, which moves us right into our next segment. What are the best movies about aliens of all time? Okay.
That's a good topic.
It's a good topic. I mean, because, do you believe in UFOs? Let's start there. Do you believe in UFOs, Harris?
I'm kind of skeptical, but
Understand.
maybe not.
So you've never seen one with your own eyes?
No.
Let's pose the same question to your father. Hank, do you believe in UFOs?
You have to give me hard facts for me to believe in something. Hard facts, not just, hey, we have this picture, it kind of looks like it.
Yes.
So until they show me hard facts,
Yeah.
I can't say that I do. I can't say I do. Now, there's other people that do.
Yeah.
Like my mother would rather see a man at the door with a knife with like lightning going off behind him,
Right.
like just a killer, than to see an alien at her door.
My thought on the whole thing is, the universe is infinite, right?
Sure.
Wouldn't you think in all of these planets and solar systems and galaxies and stars and asteroid belts,
There's got to
there's
be one
gotta
living
be
thing.
something out
Yeah.
there, man.
You'd think
Yeah.
so.
You would think if
You'd
you
think
live in an
that- you-
infinite universe.
You'd think if there was that they would contact us, be like, "What's up,
Yes.
brah?"
And don't think that I'm like, when I say this, don't look at me like, this dude's crazy. Because, I mean,
Get
in my
ready to look
mind,
at it.
in my
Get ready
mind,
to look
he
at
already
it.
looked at me like that, but in my mind, all right, what if, the pyramids in Egypt were built thousands of
Yeah.
years ago, but thousands of years ago is literally a second in space time because the universe has been around for 13 billion years. So can you imagine 8,000 years? That's not long ago, right? In space time. In our
Yeah.
time, it's long, but
It's long.
space time. Could it be that aliens helped the Egyptians build those pyramids? Do you know that with the Egyptians, they worship those gods, the sun god Ra, and then the bird god Iris or whatever? Could those have been aliens that came down and helped them build these structures?
Okay, I believe in aliens. Thank you.
Sold,
salesman of the year right there.
Thank you very much. Anyway, watch this. There's the show called Ancient Aliens on
I've seen that.
History. Yeah, check it out. That's where some of these philosophies that are running through my head come from.
Yeah,
I can't wait.
Yes, check it out. So, you're going to say something, brother?
Yeah, if you think about it,
Yeah.
all the planets in outer space are like 7 Earths combined.
The sizes.
There's got to be
Yes.
one thing out there.
Absolutely, man.
Well put.
Yeah.
Well put.
Let's keep. Well, next week we might dive a little deeper into this, okay? But for now, let's talk about our top 5. We'll give it 5 this time. Hank's hierarchy, alien movies, okay?
Okay.
Hank, I'm gonna run off a couple that didn't make my list, but they were pretty good movies about aliens. And I do need to let the audience know we're excluding Star Wars movies and Star Trek movies. They're alien related, but we're going to move away from those. We're going to stick with the strictly alien kind of weird stuff here. One movie that didn't make my list, the movie Cloverfield. Harris, you mentioned that you had seen this earlier. My daughters have watched Cloverfield too. Exciting. Didn't make my top 5 list. War of the Worlds. That was the Tom Cruise movie when the robots, they come from the ground and they invade our Earth. All right. Did not make my list. Movie called Edge of Tomorrow. Came out a couple years ago. Really science fiction and kind of freaky. Here's a couple that did. Number 5 spot. Let's start with Aliens. The movie Aliens itself. Let's start with Aliens. We're talking about Aliens. The movie Aliens. Great movie. Sigourney Weaver. Awesome. Way to kick it off, 1978-ish, let's say. Hank, how about you?
Sure about that date?
I'm not sure.
I think that was way early. I think we're talking about like 90s.
No,
I think
we're with the first one.
Oh,
the very
okay.
first one. There was Alien and then Alien. So I don't want Aliens. I want Alien.
Okay.
That was 78.
Okay. I was like, whoa. Okay.
Gotcha.
So I'll just say 2 of the ones that were outside looking in.
Yeah.
Signs, pretty
Yes.
freaky.
Awesome.
Right?
Liked it.
Okay.
Yeah.
The other one, Close Encounters of the Third Kind. That was a weird movie because we were young.
Yes.
Like when the guy was like making the mountain with the clay and everything.
And mashed potato mountain.
Mashed potato mountain. Yeah. That was really crazy. One that I've started to find new love for, and I think that Harris will appreciate this because we've been watching a lot of it, is Men in Black.
Yes.
That's my number 5 right there.
Yes.
Interesting. And exciting news here, Harris. In 2019, a new Men in Black, new characters is coming on the scene.
Oh,
I just heard that today.
Look forward to that.
Interesting.
Yes, look forward to that.
All right, where's number 4 for you?
Number 4 for me is it's a real campy movie, and it's really terrible. But it's exciting and fun for me. It's called Starship Troopers. Have you seen this?
Yeah, it's
when they're
ridiculous.
blasting bugs?
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
It makes me laugh so hard. I've got to put it in my number 4 spot.
That's crazy because in my number 4 spot is the same movie. Okay?
Oh, smart minds think alike,
It is.
Harris.
Because
Yes.
you know what? You can't get away from comedy.
Yeah.
The comedy aspect of it is hilarious.
It makes it good.
It does. And
Yeah.
aliens don't have to be mean. They don't they don't have to be.
How about that big brain bug? Remember that big brain bug? That's how it breathed. Oh, it's just terrible. Okay, wonderful. Okay, coming in at number 3, Chad East, top alien movies. We're going to give a little shout out to the first Independence Day, not the second one,
No.
which was horrendous,
Awful.
but the first Independence Day. Remember Will Smith flying around,
Yeah.
shooting bad guys. That was number 3 for me.
Okay. I did for my number 3 is the classic E.T.
Oh,
okay.
yes, of course.
I mean, it could be because I love Reese's Pieces. I don't know, but I love E.T. But that's going to be it at number 3. Do you like E.T., bud?
Yeah, it's a pretty good movie.
Yeah,
It is.
I agree.
I've seen some good Halloween costumes too that
Yeah.
resemble E.T. I think our friend Banks, I think his brother was Elliot one year.
Really?
Yeah, he had a basket
Awesome.
E.T. It was pretty awesome.
What a great costume.
Yep.
I've got a tie for number 2 spot. Number 2 spot for me is Close Encounters of the Third Kind, which you already mentioned. I love that movie. And E.T. So, I don't know if you remember, Close Encounters probably came out late 70s, early 80s. That was a Steven Spielberg movie.
Yeah.
Then E.T. came out maybe a couple years later. Steven Spielberg, one of my favorite directors. 2 great movies by the genius himself. Go
It
ahead.
was. So I take your number 3 and put it in my 2, Independence Day. I feel like we're running into a collision with number 1.
No way you have the same number 1.
Okay.
I mean, I think I know what yours is. But anyway, because I'm a very deep thinker, a philosopher.
Who?
A philosopher.
Oh, you.
Yes,
okay,
me.
we're talking about you.
Because I'm a very deep thinker and a philosopher, if you will. There's a movie that came out 2 years ago that I still think about almost daily. It's a movie called, you probably haven't seen it because it's for deep thinkers. It's just not a comedy. This is for deep thinking people. It's called Arrival. And so what Arrival was about, it's almost time travel lean kind of alien movie. You've seen it?
Was it the end where he was in the wall?
That's Interstellar, which is another one of my favorite movies.
Okay,
of all time.
Interstellar. That's the one I thought of.
Arrival is where the aliens, and they're trying to communicate with us to tell us we're killing ourselves, we're destroying our Earth, and they come down to help save us. They can only communicate through these. They shoot out these smoke rings, and linguists from all across the world have to come and try to decipher what they're telling us. It's really good flick. Sorry, I got a little deep right there, Harris. I know I'm bringing the show down a tad. Let's get it back up with Hank's number 1 alien movie, because it's something
awesome.
Great.
It's awesome. And you know the funny thing is we ought to poll our listeners and see if they liked Arrival or if they liked Predator. Nobody is going to root against Predator. When
true.
That was one of Schwarzenegger's best movies ever. When when that guy's shaving his face and he breaks the razor and they're just shooting stuff, covering themselves in mud so they can't see it. Dude, you can't get better than that.
I would say that's Schwarzenegger's heyday. Think about what he had Predator going on. He had Commando,
Commando.
Right around the same time. He had it going on at that point of his career.
He did.
Good for you. Predator, Arrival, we'll just say they're about equal.
Come on now. Come on now.
All right. Hey, Harris, you got number 1? What is your number 1 movie about an alien?
Probably Men in Black 4.
Whoa.
Yeah,
They've got 4 Men in Blacks.
Yeah, apparently they're coming out with a 5.
But they're changing the whole...
Very interesting.
Is the 4 the one with the woman, the girl that's the bad guy? No, it's the guy that's the motorcycle guy, right?
I forgot his name. It's like... starts with a D.
Yeah, I remember that one. It was pretty good. I think we watched it on vacation.
Will
Men in
Smith
Black.
in that one too?
He is not.
Okay, got you.
He took a break. He wasn't in that one, was he?
Will Smith?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
he
okay.
was.
He was.
Good.
Yeah.
Thank you.
That's our fact check right there. Harris is our fact checker.
Of course he
Yep.
is. Yes. Thank you, Harris. Well, good. Great movies about aliens. If our audience would like to contribute, hey, email us, text us, let us know what your favorite movie about aliens are, and we'll talk about it next week during the podcast.
Hi, I'm Alan.
I'm Chris.
And we're the co-hosts of Foot Candle Films, a movie review and film discussion show here on themesh.tv.
Each episode, we talk about some new movies, cover some film news, and have some recommendations.
And trust us, we're just as likely to talk about the latest Jim Jarmusch film as we are the newest Transformers installment.
Hold on, don't get too crazy.
Well, okay, maybe not that bad. But you can find our show and all our episodes on themesh.tv. Plus, you can subscribe to get new episodes delivered right to your computer or mobile device.
We'll see you in the ticket line.
Moving on to our next segment. This is interesting, guys. So I played in the tennis tournament. I was invited, and this made my ego kind of hurt a little bit. Hank, I don't know if you've heard this story, but there's a tennis tournament at Catawba Country Club last weekend, and one of our friends' partners couldn't make it. And so this is how they invited me to the tennis tournament. Chad, my partner can't make it to this tennis tournament this weekend. Would love for you to play. I need somebody that's not really good, but not really bad. We need an average player. Yeah, sure. I'd love to play.
Average Joe.
Exactly. So anyway, that's the great way to get somebody to be inspired to come play. But anyway, I took the invitation.
How many calls did they make before you?
18, I'm sure. 18. But anyway, I decided to play. Had a great time. I'm talking about they treated me like a king at Catawba Country Club. If I needed a drink, they brought me a drink. If I needed a hot dog, they brought me a hot dog. Needed a new can of ball. Anyway, they were really great hosts. We shocked the world, Hank, and my partner and I made it to the finals.
Can I ask a question?
Of course.
Was your partner on the same playing level as you, or was he better? Was he worse?
I'm glad you asked this question, and I don't mean to hurt anybody's feelings.
No.
No.
There's rankings.
Yes. If there was rankings from 1 being the top tennis player in the world and 100 being the worst, and we're on the scale, he would be at 100. He'd only started playing tennis about a month and a half ago.
Okay.
And granted, this dude had a lot of heart.
I love heart.
Yes. I mean, he was all heart because he certainly wasn't all forehand. But anyway, we worked together as a team. And the way it worked is I said, hey, bro, you run up to the net. Anything you can get, stay up there. If not, let it go. And I'll run the ball down and get it back. Because granted, we're in a bracket, not the first tier bracket, the second tier bracket where, there's not a lot of people, not top tier. But, we're competitive.
Right.
So anyway, we shock the world. We make it to the final, blah, blah, blah. Sunday, I'm kind of summarizing this story so we don't spend too much time. But Sunday, the final winners of the set from Saturday have to play the final winners of the girls bracket. Okay? So the guys have to play the girls.
Okay.
So in my mind, and I am not a male chauvinist. I have never been, and I will never. Women are awesome, Hank. Me too is what I say. Me too. But in athletic events, I've always thought if I'm playing a girl competitively in something, I'm going to win. I don't really care what it was. I remember in high school saying 5 of my dudes would take on any 5 girls in basketball, and we're going to win. That's always been my philosophy.
Ronda Rossi versus you in kickboxing. You're winning this fight?
Hell no, I'm not. But I'm just saying, that's how my mind works.
I got you.
If I'm going to compete.
I got you.
Okay, you feeling me. Okay. We woke up to the court on Sunday, and I see these 2 fine athletes, these women athletes, walk up, through the fence up to the net to shake our hands. I'm like, uh-oh.
We have a problem.
We are in trouble. Houston, we have a problem. So anyway, it starts off. They get us down 5-1. I mean, they are waxing us. We get it back 5-5. Yep, we hung in there, all heart. But then they finished us off 7-5. We won the second set, so it goes to a third set tiebreaker. That's when they really turn the juice up and take it to us. They beat us like 10-3 in the tiebreaker. So anyway, I will permanently, you can have it on record, I will permanently retract my statement that guys can beat girls in athletic events because that is not always the case.
Can I add something to this?
Please.
From what I understood, you not only got handed,
yeah,
but it was by one of our friends' mothers.
That's the part I was trying to keep quiet. One of our friend's mother-in-law beat us in the match, and she is a heck of a tennis player.
Yeah, a great tennis player. But
awesome.
from what I understand,
yes,
she was the one that beat you.
She was the one.
So
that
it wasn't like
it wasn't Serena.
It wasn't Serena. No, it's a local grandmother.
Yes.
Gotcha.
Oh,
congratulations.
Yes, congratulations, ladies. You deserved it. Y'all were awesome. That will move us right into, we'll stay on this athletic kind of front here and move on to our next segment. Hank, Pee Wee basketball is upon us.
Part of it.
Harris, you might want to listen to this if you want to pop up here. Pee Wee basketball is upon us. So yesterday we had our first practices. I was fortunate enough to see your team because you practiced right after me in the same facility. Yep. And I do want to apologize. I was a little bit hot yesterday she told me 6:30. And when you're trying to say, Chad, 6:15, I'm like, no. She told me 6:30. So I apologize for keeping you off the court. Now I know it's 6:15. I'll get right out of your way. But the gyms were locked.
You did try to get short with me. I will tell our audience.
Did you see that?
Yeah, he was mad at me. He looked at me, and I knew it was going to happen because you were setting up for another drill.
Exactly.
And you were going to do hey, let's shoot some mid-ranges. And I was like, yeah, it's 6:17. And I was trying to be cool, but I was Chedo.
I know. I saw it.
You're a little bit over, and you're like, what? What?
You were so serious.
Yes.
He was very serious.
Harris, I take my Pee Wee basketball very serious, which brings me to this. As I unleash Chad's coaching philosophy poster. Okay.
Now, does our audience remember that last year?
Let's remind the audience.
Let's remind them. Last year, he brought out this poster, and he was showing it to his girls, and he was going down these very detailed expectations that he has for them. And his daughter, not another girl, his daughter raises her hand, and he's like, yes, what is it? Dad, is that philosophies? Not philosophies? Yes. We're in the middle of this.
Thank you,
so,
Olivia.
did you spell it correctly this year?
I think so. I didn't even really check it.
Did you not Google this?
Did I misspell it again?
Peas.
Did I misspell it again? Oh, my gosh. I'm the worst speller in the world.
I can't believe that's
this
happened
is
twice.
Twice in one lifetime. It's unbelievable.
So we do see this poster. We have this.
Yes.
This. What is this?
We are the Warriors.
The Warriors,
So it's talking
okay.
about our team name, our returning players, our new players, last year's record, and what our goal is this year.
Hey,
as you can see,
10-0, first place.
First place. Harris, do you see that? The reason I do that is because to achieve anything in life, you have to set a goal. So you got to believe in something. You got to have something to work towards. That's why I am the coach of the year in, year out at the Hickory Recreation Department because of this. Right here, Harris.
I don't know if you heard this earlier, but Harris said that he was a big fan of his dad's coaching skills. So,
does your dad make a poster like this and share it with the team before the season starts?
No, but he makes up one, and it sure is better than that.
Oh, yeah! Harris, you're killing me in here. Okay, well, maybe you don't. Here, get off. Get him out of here. I'm kidding. Harris, I'm kidding. So let's read just a few of Coach Chad's philosophies to get through the year. Number 1, Harris, go for it.
Defense is our best offense.
That's right. So I believe Chatty's coach's formula to victory is defense always being the best offense. If you can shut them down, create a turnover to get an easy hoop, defense is our best offense.
We go by that same philosophy, don't we?
Yes.
Yep.
Sweet.
Good defense.
Number 2.
Fundamentals. Do the little things extraordinarily.
Yes, and the 5 fundamentals are, do you know them? The little things that you need to practice on to get really good. Yeah, your standard stuff.
Dribbling.
Yes.
Shooting.
Yes.
Passing.
Yes.
And
Rebounding and defense is the number 1. Rebounding and defense. Yes, that's it. Okay, number 3.
Give 100% of the time.
That means in everything, and that's you can apply that to life too. Everything you do, if you give it 100%, you'll get 100% in return. All heart. Number 4.
A team can beat any individual. Teammates can
5 teammates.
5 teammates
Can defeat
one LeBron James.
There is no I in team. So the biggest thing I preach, the number 1 philosophy is if we're a team, we can accomplish anything. Team stands for, as I turn the poster around, T stands for
Together.
E stands for
Energy,
enthusiasm. A stands for
attitude, aggressive.
and M stands for
Make it fun.
there you go, ladies and gentlemen. Chad's philosophies, his coaching philosophies, what you need to have a successful basketball team in Pee Wee basketball.
I have a question about that, though. Why did you write Warriors in purple?
I did not have a blue or yellow marker, and the only one I had on hand was a purple and somewhat yellowish orange marker. That's why we did it that way.
We're not going to critique his
This is a tough crowd, ladies and gentlemen. This is a very tough crowd.
It is a very tough crowd. We, like you said, we had our first practice last night,
Yes.
right? And it's good. We're moving up, kind of like you.
Yes.
So Harris is going into that 9-10 age group. I'm coaching with a good friend of ours, so we've got a good mesh. But felt pretty good about our team. So we're going to talk about our teams this year.
Yes.
The next few weeks. Harris, we feel pretty good about them.
Yep.
We're going to be pretty young. We've got 8 kids on the team. There are 13 teams in our league with 8 kids, and we have 7 9-year-olds, 1 10-year-old. We're going to be all right, aren't we, bud?
Yeah, but our team is pretty good.
It is pretty good.
Although they're pretty young.
Yep.
What is your team name? You are the
We are the Lakers.
Lakers.
And I am LeBron.
Some mighty big shoes to fill there,
those are the
fella. You
shoes.
better bring a triple-double every game.
As he's picking up his feet to show you his LeBrons.
Oh, I've heard a lot about these LeBrons, by the way. Your shoes are a major feature of our show. We talk about them quite often. But I did watch you practice, and you do have a good team. Y'all really do. Even Lucy Rhodes came off when we were getting in the car. She said, wow, that team's really good that practiced behind us, and that was y'all.
Yeah.
Y'all were making layups, shooting jumpers. Y'all
Yeah,
looked really good.
We'll be all right.
Yeah, we're going to have a little struggle. We're kind of the same way as you guys. We have 8 players on our team, 7 9-year-olds, 1 10-year-old, and we're not really tall, so we're going to have to kill them with some speed.
Yep.
That's what we'll do this year. We'll kill them with speed.
I saw the scramble for the loose ball. I liked your loose ball drill.
Yeah.
That was pretty good.
It's called Go Get It. That's what we call it. Go get it. And so, all it is you're trying to get them to get some defensive rebounding position and go get that ball. Go get that ball. So anyway, feel free to use that, Hank, anytime you want to. Yes. Sticking on the college basketball theme, it kicked off, or basketball theme, college basketball kicked off last night. We saw Duke's walloping of Kentucky. That's the worst defeat John Calipari, I think I've read, he's ever had. If that could be, is that possible?
Well, for a number 2,
yes,
to get beat, even by a number 4,
right,
by that much, to get upset would be okay.
Yeah,
but to get beat like they got beat was humiliating,
unbelievable.
Did you hear that Trey Jones, who is Tyus Jones' brother.
Mm-hmm.
Trey Jones said that he doesn't, and he wasn't in the statement that I saw. It wasn't like he was being like too out of like sorts, but he was like, this team could go down as the best basketball team ever.
Ooh. Let's don't get ahead of ourselves. They played one game.
I know.
And they are ruled by freshmen. Granted, their freshmen are incredible.
Yeah. I was walking by the TV today at lunch, and on it was, could Zion Williamson play for the Fab Five? Could he have started?
Oh, wow.
And it was a conversation in Rose. I mean, who was the
Jalen?
Jalen was the guy that they were talking to.
I love Jalen. That team is loaded, but we can't get. It's one game.
That's one game.
You can't compare them to anybody right now. Shoot, they could lose next week to Loyola Marymount or something. You never know. They're freshmen. You don't know what to expect.
They won't be there next year. They keep playing the way they are.
You know that. But they were impressive. So that leads us to our next segment here. We'll do a little Chad's Champions real quick, Hank. I know you're a college basketball fan. It's probably not your number one sport, but typically it has been my number one sport. If we were to rank them, NFL, college football, college basketball. College basketball has always been my number one. It's kind of drifting. I've lost some of the passion for it. I don't really know why. Maybe because the freshmen leave. You don't really have teams anymore.
Well, you're a State fan, so you never had a team.
Ding, ding, ding. Got me. That's very nice. But anyway, I'm a college basketball fan. So are you.
Yeah.
Let's talk about maybe 2 or 3 of our favorite college basketball games of all time. We'll start with you.
Well, I'll say there, I have a couple of them, and I'll just name 3. One of my favorite games, and I remember it very vividly, is watching Leitner hit that shot, that turnaround.
Me too.
And
you remember where you were?
I was at Andy Banks' house.
Okay.
Right? And there were probably 5 of all of us in there, and her dad was in there. And I remember walking out of the room when he hit it. Right? Yeah. I mean, just being like amazed, but furious because he's a Duke guy, and But watching that and thinking, what an amazing game. What an amazing shot. I hate that guy.
I remember. Was it on a Sunday? Do you remember if it was on a Sunday? For some reason in my mind,
I remember it was
like
overcast. I don't remember any of the details.
I remember it being like a Sunday afternoon, and or maybe a Saturday afternoon. I had been outside playing hoops, came in to watch like that. Was it overtime?
No.
It wasn't overtime. It was right. Yeah. So watching the last 2 minutes of the game, Jamal Mashburn was for Kentucky.
Oh.
Remember? Oh, that just incredible game. One of my favorite games is, and Duke is involved in this one. So UNLV was the cream of the crop. They were 32 and zip. Nobody had even been close to them all season long. The year before, they had blasted Duke in the Final Four by 40. That Duke team meets them again in the Final Four. They were an 18 to 20 point underdog in that game. They shocked the world. That was the UNLV team with Larry Johnson, Stacey Augmon, Greg Anthony.
Average age of the team was like 24.
Yes. And Duke came in there with all heart. Coach K had a game plan, and they shocked the world. That game was incredible. Just let me apply this to what's going on today. Alabama's football team, kind of comparable to a UNLV team like that. Like, they're supposed to walk away with this championship.
Right.
Do you saw them destroy LSU this past weekend? Any chance anybody's got?
It's hard to believe that anybody can do that. It's hard to believe that anybody can compete with them.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like Duke last night, watching them. Because Duke, last night, Chapel Hill didn't crush Wofford.
Right.
I mean, at some points, they were 4 points, away in the second half. Duke murdered them and did not make them look like a top-tier program.
And I guarantee you those kids that are the Kentucky freshmen and sophomores, they have never been beat.
Never.
They're like the cream of the crop, too. They've never been beaten like that.
They expected to come out with a W.
Yes.
They did.
And it was ugly.
Yeah, and for the way that they did that last night, is impressive.
Yes.
I mean, you can say it's game one. It is game one, but that team is going to be special. And as a Carolina fan, I hate it.
Yeah, you're worried.
I'm real worried because
sick.
one of my favorite games that I was going to say, probably it's one of my top 3 favorite games ever. I can't remember if it was 05 or 09, whichever year that Chapel Hill won the national championship. But the win versus Duke, they were like 1-2 at the Dean Dome.
Yeah.
I was there and watching that come down to the wire and then win, them cut down the nets.
Oh.
It was incredible.
Tell me and I've never been to a Duke Carolina game, but I've heard it's pretty intense. Tell me the energy level, especially when you're 1-2 in the country.
Yeah,
I can't even imagine.
You don't stand up. I mean, you don't sit down.
Yeah.
It is outside was bananas. I remember scalpers saying ticket prices that I thought were like they were saying, "Can I buy your tickets?"
Right.
And they were like $1,200. They're like a piece. They're like, "Can we buy your tickets? Can we buy your tickets?" And
oh my gosh,
we
sold.
But we when we watched that matchup, the energy was incredible. It went back and forth. You know, in the last 8 minutes, it goes back and forth, and it was incredible.
Yeah, those games are always classics.
Heads just throbbing when you leave.
Oh, yes. One of my favorite games, obviously being an NC State fan, we don't get to win much, but we did win a national championship back in 83, and we played Houston, and it was the Lorenzo Charles catches the Derek Wittenberg, supposed to be a pass, right? And dunks it to beat Akeem Olajuwon and Clyde Drexler. One of the biggest upsets. Yes. One of the biggest upsets of all time, right? So that was
Houston team.
Yeah. So sick. I remember I was a little boy and my dad was a State fan, so he let me stay up to watch the entire game, because it's the national championship's on a Monday.
Yeah.
And so I remember maybe I was like 6, 8. I was probably 8 or 9 years old and stayed up till 11 to watch the whole game. It was a memorable experience for me.
Right.
You got one more?
The other one that is probably memorable because it was with Harris is Luke May hitting that shot. To keep him going.
Kentucky.
Yeah, to keep him going against Kentucky. That was a great. I ended up jumping up, and you flail your arms while you're jumping up to clap.
Yeah.
It was 2-3 years ago. Harris was probably 6, 7. I look back and he's crying, and I thought I smacked him in the face, and I was like, "Oh, buddy, what's up?" He's like, "I'm so happy he hit that shot."
That's great, Harris.
It was great. That's one of my favorites.
Yeah, and I'll end my favorites with it wasn't necessarily the game themselves, but it was just the experience. So I don't know if you remember me telling you last year, Lawrence Thompson and I took our girls to go to a doubleheader. First game, NC State versus Carolina at the Dean Dome at noon. Left that game, went to Cameron to watch Virginia and Duke play at Cameron at 2. So we had to leave at halftime of the State-Carolina game. That's the game that State beat. This was last year. State beat Carolina in the Dean Dome in an overtime or maybe a double overtime thriller. And then we went Virginia-Duke, one in the country versus 3 in the country.
What a day.
Sat on the floor at Cameron. Unbelievable day.
Unbelievable.
My daughter still talks about. We were talking about memorable things that happened in 2018 the other day, and she was like, "I think my top one was going to see those basketball games." How cool was that?
That is cool.
That was a heck of a day. So anyway, Hank, that brings us to the end of Big Fan episode 15.
Wow,
man, this was a real special episode. We haven't had a guest in here for Big Fan ever. Maybe
I don't.
So officially, is Harris our first?
Oh, I don't know. No. Olivia was in here one time.
I don't think that was Big Fan.
Oh,
I think
that might
was
have been
the fantasy formula.
That might have been fantasy.
Yes.
That might have been fantasy.
Yeah.
So
Harris, hey man, you want to get on the mic one last time and tell the audience thank you, and we appreciate you being here, buddy. Have you enjoyed yourself?
Yes, I have.
Wonderful, wonderful. So, can we expect maybe some others? You dropping in, telling us some things that are going on in the neighborhood and going on at elementary school?
Probably.
And maybe we can get an update on basketball, kind of where we stand. Yeah. Maybe if we can get a mid-year update. Would that work?
Yep.
Absolutely.
All right.
Shine them LeBrons up a little bit too. All right. Don't let them get scuffed up and dirty.
Hey, we got good kick game over here. Don't you worry about it. We'll deal with ours.
Very good. Well, Hank, it's good seeing you. Harris,
always good to see you.
Good seeing you. Good luck in your basketball this year, and we'll check out our fans in 2 weeks on the Big Fan. Peace.
You've been listening to The Mesh, an online media network of shows and programs ranging from business to arts, sports to entertainment, music to community. All programs are available on the website as well as through iTunes and YouTube. Check us out online at themesh.tv. Discover other network shows and give us feedback on what you just heard.